My girlfriend gave my childhood plushie to her dog who destroyed it, and didn't even care it hurt me. So I gave the dog her fun time toys and she went crazy. My girlfriend and I have been dating for almost a year now and she just moved in with me last month. Since then she has been disrespecting my boundaries constantly. She uses my bath towels to wash off her makeup, talks to her ex on speakerphone around the apartment. She's thrown away bags of chips I buy to go with my lunch because she said they were too unhealthy, and most recently I came home to find a puppy chewing on my shoes in our living room. She wasn't even home, and it took over an hour for her to get back to me and tell me she met a guy on the street selling puppies so she got one. I asked if she even bought anything for the dog and she said no, as what does a dog even need besides food anyway? I told her a lot, and she clearly wasn't ready for a dog, let alone a puppy. I told her she needed to pick up some toys and treats for the puppy on her way home and asked if she got a leash or collar. She just stayed silent, so I made a makeshift one out of my belt and some rope to take it for a walk. When I left for work the next day I told her she needed to spend the whole day taking care of the puppy and if I get home and the place is a mess, we can't keep it. She said that was no problem. Only of course, it was a problem. When I got home the first thing I saw was stuffing everywhere. I went over to my girlfriend who was playing tug of war with the puppy with one of my belts and I asked why she didn't just get a tug of war toy when she got the other stuffed toy that had been destroyed in the living room. She said that she forgot, and hadn't gotten around to getting any toys for her yet. I asked where all the stuffing came from then and she told me to check the trash. I opened it up and immediately felt my heart drop. It was my childhood plushie torn to shreds. I didn't even notice until she asked if I was crying, that my eyes had welled up. The plushie was a gift from my deceased mom, who died barely a year after she gifted it to me. After she died, I got placed into group homes since she was a single mom with no family. All I had of her, of my childhood, was that plushie. Seeing it so torn up and shredded made me feel like my inner child had died. I took it out of the trash can to see if maybe it could be fixed when my girlfriend told me it was fine. She would just go get some toys for the puppy tomorrow while I was at home. I turned to her and told her this was my childhood plushie. I had told her more than a few times what it meant to me. I asked if she remembered the time I told her someone in one of my group homes had stolen it, and I cried for a week before it was found and brought back to me. She said she remembered, but that was when I was a kid. I shouldn't still hold such strong feelings for a plushie now that I am an adult. I told her she was wrong, and I absolutely still cared for it. She said she was sorry about what had happened, but how was she supposed to know the puppy would destroy it? I told her because it is a puppy, something you know nothing about and never should have gotten. I want it out of my apartment by the end of the week. She corrected me and said our apartment, and that if the puppy left then she would go too. I was so stunned with the lack of care towards my feelings that I just went to bed. When she joined me she tried to be intimate, but I just pushed her off. She scoffed at me and rolled over to say she didn't need me anyway. She pulled out her fun time toys and took care of herself. That's when I got the idea. After she left for work the next day I took out all of her fun time toys and put them on the ground around the house. The puppy immediately started chewing on one of them like a bone, and I felt a sense of satisfaction. By the time she got home, there were ripped pieces of silicone all over the floor and some of the toys had been broken into pieces scattered around the apartment. She screamed when she found one of them and I heard her call out my name. By the time I got to the living room I was laughing. It wasn't exactly fair as she could just buy new toys and I would never be able to replace my plushie, but it was something. I had already put the order in to buy her new fun time toys that would arrive later this week, and planned to tell her as much when I went out into the living room and saw her hitting the puppy with a dildo, screaming out bad dog. I ran over and took the thing out of her hand and asked what the hell she was doing. You can't just hit a dog. She looked at me furiously and asked if I had done this on purpose. I admitted I had, but I just wanted her to know how I felt. I went to show her I had ordered new fun time toys for her on my phone, when she grabbed it and threw it to the ground. I said she needed to calm down and stop being so violent as this was not okay. She said I was the one who was not okay, that what she had done with my plushie was nothing compared to deliberately trying to hurt her feelings. I said I was sorry, but she also hurt me and she never even apologized. I told her I finally saw her for the toxic person she is and I didn't want to spend another moment dating someone like her. She told me she felt the same way. She went into the room, packed her suitcase and told me she'd send someone to get her stuff later. I asked about the puppy and she told me I could keep her, since we were both so invested with ruining her life. By the next week both her and her ex showed up at my apartment and said they were here to collect her stuff. As they were grabbing the last of her things she went to grab the puppy and I scooped him up real quick and said I don't think so. She said, "It's my dog. You can't keep her from me." I said it wasn't her dog anymore as she had abandoned it. She told her ex to grab the puppy from me, but I told him if he touched the dog or me I would call the cops. She complained that I didn't even want the dog in the first place. I told her no, I didn't want someone who sucked my soul out and didn't care about my feelings. The dog isn't the one who made me feel that way. She scoffed and told me she would be back once I learned I couldn't handle the dog. Literally the next day I took the puppy to the vet for a checkup and got a chip installed that was under my name as the owner. I wasn't sure about taking care of her, but I knew I could do better than my ex, and I was willing to put the work in. I may have lost my childhood plushie, but now I think I found my best friend for life.